Welcome back to SAFC Live, where it's finished Accrington Stanley 1, Sunderland 1 down at the Wham Stadium, and it's probably 2 points we've missed out on there this afternoon.
It is, yeah. 2 points we've left it there, haven't we? 1-0 up, then down to 10 men, 15 minutes left on the clock. And I was saying there on the comms that are we going to go and try and get that second, because we looked vulnerable all afternoon for me from balls coming into the box. We weren't strong enough dealing with it, switching off from throw-ins. Just wasn't good enough really, and it's basic stuff what you learn at a younger age group. And then, as I say, we've got an attacking corner. The keeper's pumped it long. We haven't dealt with it on the halfway line. Running through, and he's got a tap in. And what's that? 2 points we've picked up out of the last 9. So it's not good enough. And over the course of the 90 minutes, though, we were better than what we were on Tuesday, but we weren't at the levels where we know we can be at.
Yeah, let's have a look at the highlights then, Danny, and we can discuss any of the parts of action from today's game.
Yeah, I think from open play, this is arguably our best chance, isn't it? And it's our first attack of the game just after 5 minutes. Lyndon Gooch does well down the left-hand side, puts a lovely ball in for Ross Stewart, and he's on the stretch. He's maybe leaning back a yard or two, and he can't get the power on it. And the surface takes the sting out of it for the goalkeeper. But we were getting into some good areas out wide. The only thing throughout the course of the 90 minutes, we didn't create anything through the width of the 18-yard box. We never had a little clever pass in us, a 1v1 against the goalkeeper. It was all these areas now where we're getting into here, and then it's a fight ball once it comes into the middle. And then, as I say, the longer the game on, and that first half wore on as well, Accrington did come back into it. We were having some good spells like this, but nothing where we dominated really for 10-15 minutes. And then a couple of set plays up the other end of the pitch. Here's one now, throw in, we're not picked up, good ball in, over the top, and that's the warning sign. Hoffman does well there, just his feet, and just helps it over the crossbar.
Bishop won a lot of them this afternoon, didn't he?
He did, yeah. From our point, another one here now, another short throw in. When we're expecting it to go in long, we're scrambling again, we get away with that one. But yeah, as you say, Colby Bishop up against our 2 centre-halves really, and I'd say he dominated. He was making it awkward, he was winning too many flick-ons. That one there, possibly as a penalty. Again, we haven't got a camera angle looking at it from the other side, but it looks like Callum Doyle's going to hook it clear and maybe catches him around his midriff. Another one here right on half-time. No, Diaku gets into there, fizzes it in, looking for Lyndon Gooch. Defender turns it over the crossbar, and there's 1-0 just after half-time. Aidan O'Brien comes off the bench for Pritchard, gets the shot away, a little bit fortunate, takes a deflection up off the centre half and lobs up over the keeper. Now you're thinking, can we go on now, make it 2 and dominate the game, look after the ball, but we never did that.
Yeah, it was an odd goal really, isn't it? Because the way he runs his foot over the ball just before he strikes it. I mean, I wonder what would happen if it didn't take the deflection, where it would have gone towards the goal.
I think he's looking for the pass as it comes into him. He's on the half turn, he's looking, and then he thinks, well, no one's come to press me, and the defender comes out, takes a nick off him. And it's, as you said there, if you don't buy a ticket, you don't buy the raffle, you don't win the raffle, sorry, and that deflection up and over the goalkeeper. But then they were always in the game. A team's always in the game at 1-0, even if they're not creating from open play. They've got half chance. This one here, Flanagan there, doesn't sort his feet out, deal with it, comes to Hamilton, I think it was, wasn't it? The 4 coming onto it, and it's a great block from Callum Doyle. There we go again, another long ball. Look at that 60-70 yard ball travelling that distance. Somebody shouldn't be bringing it down with 5 yards of space. Someone should be touched tight there. He's getting in between Callum Doyle and Dennis Sirkin.
Colby Bishop again.
And we got away with that one because Harry Pellett, it comes awkwardly at him, to be fair, and there's the sending off. Sykes already on a yellow card. He's already a couple over the ref where he was niggling at the referee after that, and then he picks up his second yellow. And here we go now, we've got a corner. Tom Flanagan there, a little bit casual, doesn't sort his feet out again. And he's into him, Butcher. And is it Dan Neil or Sirkin that comes across, and then there's a tap in there, and it's a mess. I said there in comms, it's, look, if you break our last 4 goals down we've conceded, it's a bit of a horror show back there.
Yeah, just looking at it again here. Oh, remember, this came from a Sunderland corner.
Sunderland corner, yeah. And then it's organisation behind the ball on the halfway line. Whether it's someone who's experienced, somebody who's young there, you've got to know your roles. Your centre-halves have gone up for the corner. And it is Tom Flanagan, and he should cut it out on the halfway line. He goes with a lazy right foot to try and cut it out, misses it, and then Butcher's driving. I think Dan Neil it is who comes across. Then there's a spare man there, who's got an easy tap in 10 yards out, and it's just horrible from the minute the goalkeeper catches it. We're not organised, we're running back towards our own goal, and whenever the team's doing that, there's trouble.
And the manner of the goals Sunderland have conceded in recent games have been quite similar, haven't they?
All similar, yeah.
You know, they're all three probably, the other night, apart from the penalty, of course, but they all stem from similar circumstance.
Yeah, they do, yeah. But even the penalty, it's what's happened before the penalty, isn't it? Again, Tom Flanagan, it feels like I'm digging Tom Flanagan out here, but on Tuesday night, it was an easy ball for him to cut out, really. He somehow missed it. And then Winchester's in an awkward position where he's on the back of Chris Maguire, falls into the back of him. He gets sent off to penalty. The first goal on Tuesday night, we switch off basics, switch off from a free kick we've given away, turning our backs on it, balls in the back of the net. We can't keep doing that now. We've conceded, 7 goals in 3 games. Today, if we're doing the basics right, we see the game out, you're back on the bus, 3 points.
That's right. They're sending off us on 75 minutes, and then 6 minutes later we find the ball in the back of our net. When really Sunderland played with against 10 men.
Yeah, we haven't had the man sent off where you think, oh, now we're up against it. We're 15 minutes. Can we hold on? Oh no, we've conceded. We had the extra man, and you couldn't tell really out there. It's game management. You know, fans might say, oh, does that come from Lee Johnson? For me, it's the players out on the pitch there. These lads are. Yes, we've got a few young lads in the team, but they're experienced enough and they're good enough. We've seen it throughout the season. They should be good enough to manage the game, look after the ball, almost pass Accrington to death. We've seen it against Sheffield Wednesday a few weeks ago. That's what them lads are capable of, but we haven't seen it there today. Too many loose passes again, like we've seen on Tuesday night, where game management, 10, 20, 30 passes in, it takes the stuffing out of them. Their legs go, their heads go down. They're thinking it's 1-0, 10 minutes to go. We're down to 10 men. Can't wait to get off the pitch, but we always let them back into the game there today.
Let's have a look at the other scores from in and around EFL League One then, if we can. FC Wimbledon 0, Morecambe 0, Bolton Wanderers 2, Ipswich 0, Cheltenham 1, Charlton 1, Crewe 0, Shrewsbury 0, Doncaster Rovers 1, Wigan 2, Fleetwood Town 1, Rotherham 0, Gillingham 1, Burton 3, Lincoln City 0, Cambridge United 1, Portsmouth 1, MK Dons 2, Sheffield Wednesday 4, Plymouth Argyle 2, and Wycombe 2, Oxford 0.
Yeah, you look at that, don't you? Wycombe and Wigan, the big winners of today. Rotherham going down, that's the frustrating thing now. Them lads getting back in the changing room. And you see Rotherham's result away at Fleetwood.
Let's see what it does to the table then, Danny. Sunderland remain in second, but there's a new team at the top of the pile, and it's Wycombe Wanderers.
Yeah, credit to them. You know, they've dug a result out again. We let them off the hook last weekend, didn't we? But yeah, themselves and us played one more than, well, certainly than Rotherham. And then you see Wigan, who've done the job today. They've got a few games in hand, haven't they? And it's really tight up the top now. But from our point of view, let ourselves down.
Yes, that's how League One looks this evening. Then let's have a look at your thoughts then as we do hashtag Ask Danny. The first one comes in from Tom. Thanks for your contribution, Tom. He says, should we be getting more from our corners? So many today with little to no threat. Watching in Texas, USA. Thanks, Tom. What do you think of that?
Yeah, he's right. We mentioned it there, didn't we? We have, 10, 11 corners again today. Every week we have
12.
around, 12 corners. There you go. I think in recent weeks we have been a little bit better. I either, personally, as a centre-half, when I used to go up and when you speak to a lot of lads, centre-halves, I used to ask them, what do you prefer? Most will say an outswinger or that driven ball to the far post. And we have taken that in recent weeks. I think it was Callum Doyle's goal a couple of weeks ago, wasn't it? Was it Sheffield Wednesday? Ball to the far post. Tom Flanagan wins the header. And there's Callum Doyle on the second phase to nod it in from a couple of yards away. Today we went back to in-swingers. I'm not a big fan. I know you can glance it, you can beat the keepers, pressure on the goalkeeper. But I think, as we've seen for their goal, in-swingers, I think it actually came from Dan Neil having a shot, but in-swingers, it favours a goalkeeper to come and pluck it out the sky, and then you're running back towards your own goal. Outswingers, keepers don't like to come for them. But he's right, we're not getting enough first contacts on them today. You've got, if you look through the side, excuse me, you've got Callum Doyle in there going forward, 6 foot plus, Tom Flanagan, Ross Stewart in there. We've seen how good Ross is defending our corners. And Bailey Wright in there, who is, yes, he's playing at right back, but he's a centre half. So we've got 4 lads going up there who can, who are big and strong, who can get on the end of corners. But I don't think, if any, we got first contact on a corner there going forward today. But it's not just today. I think throughout the course of the season, when you are getting 10 plus corners as a side, centre half should be chipping in with 3-4 goals a season. And I think Callum Doyle's got 1. Tom Flanagan, has he got 1 so far this season? I'm not sure. Lads have got to be chipping in with more goals when they're going forward.
Okay, let's move on to another one then, please. This one is from Dan, who says, Bailey Wright has shown he's been a huge loss the last 2 games. Key position to improve for me is a defensive midfielder, though. If the window shuts without one coming in, we'll struggle to go up. The window is well and truly open at the moment, Danny, and there's probably calls this afternoon to say that we need a couple of players.
Yeah, I think, well, he's certainly right, isn't he? I think, we're halfway through the transfer window now, so the midway, and we've brought in Hume. We yet to see him on the pitch, but he's obviously a right back, and Bailey's come back into that position today.
Do you think Bailey did all right this afternoon?
Yeah, I think he had a pretty decent game, Bailey. He was calm at times on the ball, used it quite well at times as well, so I think he come back and had a pretty decent game. But in terms of that, yeah, I agree with what he's saying there. You know, Corey Evans missing today through concussion still.
It must be hard for some of our players, for instance, Embleton having to find himself back in central midfield, sitting back there. I mean, as an ex-player yourself, are you questioning your positioning if you're constantly getting moved? I mean, Lynn Noguchi is the best example. He was playing on the left-hand side or the right-hand side this afternoon. Yeah. He's played left back, right back. He's played in number 10 position.
Yeah, he's played all over, hasn't he?
During the game, do you have to be reminded of your positioning or anything like that?
No, I think before the game, yeah, obviously they'll have worked on it Thursday, Friday. In terms of Elliott, you've mentioned there, I think if you asked him where would he prefer to play, probably in and around the 10 position, just in behind Ross Stewart. But going back in there today, I think Elliott had a better game today as well, by the way, than what he did on Tuesday. He was trying to get on the ball at times, trying to make things happen. But yeah, I know what Dan's saying here. He's asking the question, do we need a bit of physical presence in there? And I think at times today, you could see that. It was a scrappy game, wasn't it? Middle of the park. Balls bouncing around, and that's a bit of a wardrobe in there, really, to look at it. Physical side of the game, get it down for us and get us playing. You've got Dan in there, Dan Neal, still a young lad. He's more of a wants to get the ball down and play type of character. If you're playing Elliott in there, they're not big powerhouses in the middle of the park, are they? Now, again, whether the recruitment staff are looking at that, bringing somebody in who fits that description to help the lads out in there to try and, when you go into places like this, if it's not all silky football and you're going to have to battle at times, you're going to need those type of players who can, they say the hod carriers really to give it to the bricklayers, these type of characters to get the ball, win it and give it to your ball players. And sometimes you need that if it's not happening in terms of a footballing sense. So yeah, that's maybe something they are looking at bringing in the middle of the park. Right back is Trey Hume. Is he ready? He's been here now 3 games. He's not featured. But there's other positions as well. I'm sure they're looking at. I keep going back to it. Depending on how long you've got Aidan McGeady, is he a month or so away? Is he far off coming back into the fold? Diaku was back out there today on that right hand side. So we do need some recruits to come in sharpish, I think, to help these boys out. We've still got 19 games to go as well, haven't we? So long way to go. And I do think we need 1 or 2 to come in.
Let's have a look at another one then, please, if we can. This one's from Ben, who says, watching from Saskatoon, Canada, who do you think has been our top defender up to this point in the season?
Well, that is a good question. I think we've had phases with the defenders, if I'm honest. Look at Tom Flanagan. I think early on, first 10 games or so, outstanding. Perhaps didn't get the plaudits he deserved at that time until a few weeks after people were saying, Tom Flanagan's been great this season. Last few games, made a few errors, led to goals. Callum Doyle playing alongside him at times as well. Great, stepping in with the ball, finding a pass, but he's learning as well. There's games where he's found it tough. He come up against an experienced centre forward, putting his weight about. He's learning when to stand him up, when to try and nick it. But that comes through playing games. I think Carl Winchester at right back has been excellent, playing out of position when he's played out there. You're looking at left back, Dennis Sirkin. It's found it difficult in and out with injuries. He's had some good games. And then Bailey Wright as well, coming in at right back. I think Bailey's been obviously missed the last couple of weeks, but prior to that, when he came back in after we'd had our losing streak, Bailey was part of that sort of 8-9 game run where he was playing his part and he was doing well. So it's difficult, I think, to single one out who I'd say he's been the standout defender, but all of them have had good spells and some of them have had dips.
What we need is them all to have a good spell together.
Well, what we need to have is a couple of clean sheets. 7 goals from a team who are looking for automatic promotion.
9 minutes away today.
Shipping 7 in 3 games isn't good enough. And go back to today there, we're 1-0 up. And that's where, as a defender now, I'm thinking your main priority, keeping the back door shut. Don't give anything cheap away. And then, lo and behold, we have a corner and we're not organised and we concede, and that's cost us 2 points.
Okay, let's have a look at another one of your thoughts on #AskDanny. This one's from David. Do you believe that Jermaine Defoe's experience would make him a good addition to the Sunderland squad, regardless of his age? Watching the game in Cold Lake, Alberta, Canada. Lots of all the Canadians watching this afternoon. Great to have you with us here on SAFC Live. Jermaine Defoe, would you like to see him back?
Seen him, obviously, as soon as he's left Rangers, it's going to spur on the Sunderland fans to get excited, I think, to maybe have him back here. But I've thought about this one the last couple of days, and from his point of view, from the clubs as well, and I'm thinking, from Jermaine, was he 39, 40?
Yeah,
39. Is he 40? I don't want to say he's 40 if he's not.
I think he's 39.
39, sorry, Jermaine.
I'm sure he's watching.
Yeah, I think he's not had a lot of game time up there, but he's a completely different type of striker to Ross Stewart. Whoever we bring in as a striker, are they going to fit into the system? Obviously, we tend to play, if it's a 4-2-3-1, it's a one striker, isn't it? And Ross Stewart isn't going to get dropped at this moment in time. So if he comes in, I don't think he's going to be a starter. Is he happy to come in and maybe come off the bench half an hour, 20 minutes, like today maybe, where we maybe need another goal there? Do we tweak the formation and chuck him in up top alongside Ross Stewart, where we know he's, well, over the years at Premier League level, how good he's been at that poacher type of goal. He's a fox in the box, isn't he? For me, we haven't got. With Nathan Broadhead picking up the injury and going, he's maybe somebody who's ideal to come in. Then wages comes into it. Where's he at with that? Does he want to come up and come back to the northeast? I know he's obviously doing a little bit of media work with Sky, so maybe he wants to go back down to London. And then does he fit into the transfer regime that we've got this season? The younger lads coming in, who you've seen the likes of the lads we're bringing in, but Lee Johnson and the recruitment staff maybe think we need a little bit of experience in there as well to help these younger boys through. So it's an interesting one. It's something that they're going to have to look at, and if he's available, again, there's a lot of things to weigh up for what suit him and what suit the club. There's
definitely work going on behind the scenes, isn't there? Christian Speakman spoke 6 months ago about the work that they'll be doing in January. So there's definitely going to be ins, probably maybe as well as outs, isn't there?
Yeah, there's other lads who you've seen linked with him. Obviously, not naming too many names on here, but you've seen it. I'm going to say somebody then actually without naming names. But no, you've seen one or two who do get mentioned. And obviously, when you see lads who are coming available, Jermaine, prime example there with what's gone on with him at the club in the past, with the times he had here. So you're going to see it, and we do need bodies to come in. I think helping some of these lads out. Still 19 league games to go.
Yeah,
I think, isn't there? So a lot of football to be played. And you're looking at the bench as well. Now, Jack Diamond's obviously dropped down to that. Is he going to go back to Harrogate if he's not going to feature now? Josh Hawkes came back from Tranmere. Is he going to be allowed to go back because they've been recalled through?
I think that was the kind of negotiation, wasn't it, until we got the players back.
Yeah.
But then, we're still waiting for the likes of O'Nien, Broadhead, Huggins. Jamadli's back on the bench, thank goodness, today. Evans, hopefully next fixture, you'd like to think so.
I think he'll be back in, That's Aidan McGeady. If he's a month away, Huggins, I think's a long-termer. Luke's a long-termer. So these boys aren't due back anytime soon, maybe before the window closes. So they're going to have to get one or two bodies in, I think, if they're going to strengthen, especially on the bench. So we'll have to see what happens. Still, 15 days or so to go.
Yep. There's still time left in the transfer window. We'll see what Sunderland do. We are back in action here, though, on SAFC Live on Saturday. Sunderland have a home tie against Portsmouth, and that's Saturday the 22nd. It's a 3 p.m. kickoff for Sunderland's next league game against Portsmouth, so that means we'll be on air from 2:30 down on the gantry at the Stadium of Light. That's it for us today, though. Final score, Accrington Stanley 1, Sunderland 1. They are second in the league, Sunderland, but they're going to have to wait till Saturday to see what they can do next. We'll see you next time.